Good evening. I did not time that correctly, but so you missed the beginning of the bumper, but that's okay. Good evening, everyone. Tonight it is Eli and Scott again, and myself, Tom, and we're going to be chatting about the 1986 women in prison action film Vendetta, produced by Roger Corman. And before we do so, we're going to chit chat about whatever bullshit. We were talking about our T-shirts in the green room. Scott has a very naughty shirt.
Okay, I'll
And
cover, just in case, I'll cover the nips.
It's classic.
It's always good to buy a shirt that you can't really wear anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I have a few of those where I'm like, where am I going to wear this? Maybe my bathroom. I can't even walk out into my living room.
I had the one shirt I had where I got in trouble in high school. It was my Machine Head shirt. Because this was like, I thought this was, they were, when I was, because that was like, I was 14 or whatever when that came out. And I thought it was awesome. And I had my Pantera shirt too, and probably my White Zombie shirt.
And there's nothing wrong with any of that.
But it was my long sleeve Machine Head shirt. On the back, it says, "Let freedom ring" with a shotgun blast.
Yeah.
And it's like your guts are exposed because someone shot you in the back. And then they had me turn it inside out.
I remember those days. Yeah, you got to wear your shirt inside out for the rest of the day now. That was fun.
That was the only time that ever happened.
You're like, I didn't know. I
welcome, James.
Fine. Hey, James.
James is the best. Women in prison. Japan has some extreme stuff, but it's very adult.
And Italy, and yeah.
And they have. This would be a good question. I'm still organizing my VHS collection. And there's a lot of women in prison, random women in prison movies that I have.
Sweet.
And question I occasionally ask myself is like, what is the sleaziest woman in prison movie?
That is the question. That is the true question.
And there's an Italian one from the early 90s, I think, called Caged Women. And that I want to find and rewatch.
Is that like a Bruno Mattei movie, or do you remember?
I don't. It wasn't Bruno Mattei.
Yeah.
But it's like they also, the women are in prison and they're forced to have sex with each other. And they're hunted for sport while naked.
So they're taking it up another level from all the others.
I don't remember it that well. I'll have to.
Yeah. God, while being naked, like you just like the most misogynistic movie ever made.
Yeah.
So fucking mean. Like we can't even give them clothes so they can hide better for us to hunt them.
There's a lot of these things, but
do you remember? I think it was called. There's a series called Women's Penitentiary. I think was the name of it. They were like
kind of sound so similar.
They were like 12 volumes of it, and they were all like whatever random movies they could pick up for cheap or steal and slap that name on it.
Yeah. So it was a VHS line where they basically took a women in prison movie and then changed the name.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that'd be a thing for me to go through and like figure out which one was which, because
that'd be cool.
The titles are so confusing because some of them are under 5 different titles and all the titles are similar.
Yeah.
Like
I remember the covers were like, it's like they got some like adult photographer to shoot some like hot picture for the cover, like with these hot like 90s ladies on it. And then you watch the movie and it's like, there's no sign of any lady like that in this movie.
All that advertisement.
A clickbait before clickbait.
Yeah, pre-clickbait. Yeah. You spend all your money on the first image that someone sees, that draws them into wanting to see it. You spend all your money on that, and the rest takes backseat.
Yeah, there were a lot of like late 80s Hollywood, big hair honeys.
Yeah.
But for like a Italian movie from 1971.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being horribly disappointed, and then I don't know how many, if I watched 1 or 2 of them, maybe.
Yeah. A women in prison deep dive would be pretty cool. I'm not real knowledged, but if it would be cool regardless.
Yeah, I mean that's like a huge topic. I wonder like if there's a book dedicated to that topic.
It's gotta be. That'd be a cool book to have too.
It would seem like there'd have to be. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of the classics. Like the Dollhouse, Big Dollhouse, and all the big ones from the '70s. I don't think I've seen many of those. I've just seen a lot of the knockoffs.
Yeah, there's like the one with Pam Grier. I don't know if it's Big Dollhouse she's like in the Philippines or something.
Yeah.
But that one, the one with Pam Grier, that I'm thinking of is really great. I don't know if that's Big Dollhouse or Big Birdcage. There's no way I remember these titles.
I know. I've seen one called The Hot Box. I think that's one of the classic, one of the better
that's
ones.
like I think in the Philippines maybe.
There's a newer one called Amazon Hot Box.
Whoa.
It's kind of a parody, but how do you really make a parody of something so ridiculous? But it's kind of fun if you're looking for a more modern one.
Actually, that does a parody of something that, like you said, is already so dumb. That would be actually kind of fun to watch, even though it wouldn't be that much of a difference than watching. I'm not sure where the differences would be, but I feel like it would be kind of cool.
I mean, they just throw in everything. The lesbian warden is also a Nazi, and that kind of stuff.
All the cliches. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Reformed Schoolgirls is one of my favorites. That's from the mid '80s.
Yeah.
And then the Linda Blair one, I'm forgetting the name of it. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking of is Savage Streets, but it's not Savage Streets.
Yeah. Savage Streets is cool though.
And this is for our movie Vendetta. It does remind me a bit of Savage Streets because it's basically the heroine. Her sister is killed by a gang, and then she hunts them down one by one.
Yeah.
So it's similar in that sense.
Totally.
Yeah, it did remind me of that for sure. And like the very innocent, not as innocent as in Savage Streets, but kind of innocent sister getting brutalized.
Yeah.
I did have as you guys may know, I'm a cultural anthropologist through the medium of pornography. So I just acquired this Penthouse magazine, and I'm not gonna show any of the porn, but you can see there that the headline of this
black.
Oh wow.
Black metal
Viking rock.
Pagan hordes hit our shores. This is from March 2000, and it seems very, for a supposedly liberal free speech magazine like Penthouse, it's very like kind of reactionary. And is America? Where is it? The unanswered question is whether America, still reeling from the Columbine slaughter, will tolerate black metal and its violent anti-Christian legacy. Okay. They talk to the person they talk to most is Estenu from Dimmu Borgir. They claim to have gone to Norway and talked to Hellhammer in the Elm Street bar, but for this little sidebar article, I kind of doubt it.
And then they just didn't use it or whatever.
Oh no, there's like 3 lines from him.
Oh yeah.
Saying typical Hellhammer things.
Sounds pretty biased, but whatever.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Not surprised. Sounds par for the course, right? For American media for
was it Caged Heat? Is that the Linda Blair one?
Caged Heat, that sounds right.
He said Red Heat, but they also
Red Heat is a Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
And
then Simon's here again. Hello, Simon. Welcome.
Hi, Simon. I still can't see the comments. I can't figure out why.
Oh, see, he says, "I'll send you that book I have when Trump drops the tariffs." And also, I shipped out that stuff I mentioned to you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Cool.
Yesterday, or I think it was.
Oh, okay. Now I have to actually send Simon his package, so that it's good. It's good motivation. I needed it.
Yeah, and then so I've still going through this York Bootgerite box set.
Still.
This thing is insane, and there's
Yeah.
actually a black metal tie-in.
Oh, cool.
Um, and yes, good vibes. Black metal and death and boobs. And so York Bucharest got invited to a black metal festival in Bergen, Norway.
That's cool.
And he was not into metal. He said he was influenced by industrial, like Throbbing Gristle, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And they basically had a tribute to him because I guess a lot of black metal artists were into his movies. And then he met that guy Take, however you pronounce it, Taake.
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
know
I
his
always said it.
I just know his first album, which I really like, but I've never listened to anything else.
It's honestly all really good.
Okay, but
Yeah.
he has a giant tattoo of the Death King, like on his abdomen
Oh,
area.
wow. That's badass.
So they show pictures of it. So York talks about meeting him and him showing his tattoo. So, and then another funny story. Two other little anecdotes just from going through these extras. So Shram was actually, because Eli had asked us, Shram was actually the last feature film that he directed. And then since then, he's been doing like plays and musicals. And he actually directed a musical in Germany revolving around the Ramones. And I'm not sure what this entails.
That's cool.
If it's like they have people playing the Ramones or everyone is singing Ramones songs. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, what they call that? Like a jukebox musical where it's all
Yeah.
pre-existing songs.
Like it's like a rock and roll high school, the stage musical or something. I don't know, but I'm curious now to see what this is. And then the other thing is, and for Necromantic 2, they talk about they couldn't, as you would imagine, they couldn't find an actress to play that part.
No one wanted to do it.
The girl that has sex with a corpse and then decapitates her boyfriend and blah blah blah. And the way they found her is that the assistant director went and saw House by the Cemetery in the theater, the Lucio Fulci movie, and the girl Monica M, who stars in the movie, she was sitting alone watching House by the Cemetery.
Oh, she was like, "That's my girl right there. That's the one."
So then the assistant director afterwards went after is like, "Hey, you want to star in a movie?" And she had actually seen Der Todesking and thought it was cool. And she was like, "Okay, sure." And that's how that happened.
That's awesome. What a smart guy.
That is a smart idea.
He had to recruit, where else? Pre-internet too. You couldn't just post a fucking Craigslist ad or whatever.
I can show off another. Well, I bought a record. Speaking of misogyny, Great White Hook, reissue.
The good cover.
Yeah. So they had
honestly a pretty good album, like when you think about it.
Yeah. So it's actually I would say I have the two previous ones.
Yeah.
And I would say it's not quite as good as those, but it's almost as good. And they were a band that always like were better than a lot of the other hair metal bands because it had that blues rock thing going.
Yeah, which is way better written songs too. Like they're like super good songwriters and musicians and stuff. I thought so.
And then that so if people don't know, that cover, that was like the original cover, and then in the US it was censored, and then it's finally gotten re-released with the original cover in the US. And then I love the sexy insert.
Oh yeah.
So they want to, have sex appeal for everybody.
Yeah.
And then
everybody.
Wrong with being sexy.
And this actress, I remember her. I looked it up, and she's in Demonic Toys. She plays like a Miss America that shows her boobs or something.
Trying to remember.
I
I
don't even
remember,
remember.
I remember most of the movie. I remember taking place like in the that warehouse or whatever.
Tracy
You know.
Scoggins running around.
Yeah,
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 but yeah, she did like nude scenes in various movies.
it's awesome.
Um, well, do you want to just get into talking about Vendetta?
Sure.
So we'll
Vendetta.
see that like this format, we can do it like this as the first still, and I'm on the side. Does that look okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then so, um, I picked this movie because I rewatched it and I thought it was like a unique take on the women in prison movie, and it also had a couple of sort of offbeat elements, particularly in like how the prison is structured. It's the for-profit prison in California. Um, so I thought this would be interesting to talk about. And this is so Simon said he watched Demonic Toys the other week.
I watched it a few years ago, but
I mean, I saw it, 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there is like the girl on the hook cover. I think it's something like it's like Miss America, like she just shows up. I can't
That's
remember what
awesome.
it was exactly.
Now I have to watch Demonic Toys again.
Um, yeah, so Vendetta, I'll just basically say what the plot is. It's basically a stunt woman, her sister or her sister is sexually assaulted, and then she murders her assaulter, and then gets 2 years in prison, and then so what the stunt woman decides to do is to get arrested to go into prison to avenge her murder, basically. Oh, Eli, okay. Um, and there's a lot of plot in this one. So I could start with some of the credits. So this was a Roger Corman produced movie, but it might have been more produced by his daughter. I don't know how hands-on he was at this point. And I was looking up the director. His name is Bruce Logan. He actually just died a
Yeah,
month ago,
yeah, I saw that too.
and he only directed one other movie in 2018. And he was more known for like second unit VFX photography.
Yeah, on some pretty big things.
So he actually worked on the first Star Wars and 2001: A Space Odyssey
Yeah,
and Airplane.
and
And
Tron.
yeah, the most notable thing I could find was he was the cinematographer for Tron.
Yeah,
So I assume he got that because he was like second unit photographer for all these special effects movies. So they wanted a guy who knew how to shoot special effects at the time. And then he also directed the Madonna Borderline video,
All right.
and then a bunch of other stuff.
yeah. Interesting career. I always like when directors have weird careers, like, or you got a guy that directed a movie and maybe it's a great movie and he's only maybe directed two things, but he's known for oddball work or maybe cinematography, maybe other stuff. I always find that really cool and interesting.
Well, Roger Corman did that a lot, where he gave directing opportunities to people that were just crew people, because that's how James Cameron got started. He
Oh,
he,
that's true.
he built sets and models for Roger Corman, and then they gave him Piranha 2, The Spawning, and then he eventually did Terminator and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, Roger Corman. I forgot his. So what did his daughter do? Because didn't his wife did a bunch of stuff too? That's talk about a family of movie
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah. His family was all involved in producing, and
Yeah,
then at some point he wasn't really as much a hands-on producer.
yeah,
Um,
he was like kind of semi-retired for those last, who knows how long it seems like he's just kind of probably very hands off now.
And Simon says, Eli, if you send me anything, don't put the price of goods over $20.
Oh shit, no kidding, huh? Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I think I was surprised to look him up and see that, yeah, he was pretty accomplished, but not as a director. And then I thought, oh, Roger Corman, yeah, that makes sense. He wanted to direct something, and Roger Corman was like, well, he probably knows what he's doing, and
yeah,
try this one out.
Midnight is complaining.
Oh no.
So especially for a first-time director, even though he was a guy that had been around movies, I think he did a good job. It's not to jump ahead, but like I feel like and you might have more to say than me, Tom, but I felt like, because I was kind of looking for things, knowing that he was, like an inexperienced director, and I thought it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, I mean, but he had a guy who had a lot of experience on set.
Yeah, that's true.
So part of the Roger Corman thing was getting people who could film, who could meet the day, who could film everything they needed within the day, and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not so much a first-time director that might have, some blunders and stuff. It was like someone that had to be hit the ground running pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but for what I expected going in, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. Like I was having such a good time. I was like, is this the best movie I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Not obviously not, it's not The Godfather or anything, but for what it is, I think everything is really well done.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so there's a lot of kind of twists and turns. So one question I had for you guys, and we'll get into that later, is like what the structure of this prison is, because the first time I saw this movie, that kind of confused me.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
But I think maybe that was intentional in terms of the twists and turns. But like it starts off, you think it's a Corman sci-fi movie, so you have this alien, and then the stunt woman gets set on fire, and you realize they're filming a movie. And this is the Laurie is the character, and Karen Chase is the actress. She didn't do a whole lot, but she did do stunts for The Golden Child, the Eddie Murphy movie. So she did have some experience doing stunt work. And then this is on the right here is her innocent sister, who never, Bonnie, who never really did hardly anything else other than this movie. And so they wrap in the middle. There is the stud muffin director that Laurie, the stunt woman, is dating.
Yeah.
And I love, and this is pretty standard with Roger Corman movies. The movie is 90 minutes, and it's very economical.
It totally is.
In terms of the pacing.
Yeah.
So they go and like Laurie's hair is kind of out of control with the crimping and stuff. But I just love this outfit from Bonnie.
Oh yeah.
And there's a Billy Jack reference. This director is actually a tough guy, which is surprising.
Yeah. Clashing with the locals.
Yeah.
I thought showing him as such a tough guy would pay off in some way, but it kind of really didn't.
Yeah, it was like, what's the point other than just to make him look cool, which it did.
Yeah. And then so this is Bonnie, this sister. I'm trying to keep all these names straight.
I know.
So this is Bonnie meets some creep out back of the bar.
Logan Paul looking dude.
Oh, and that's also while this band is playing. This band is the Screaming Sirens.
I was gonna ask about that because I didn't look it up. I figured they had. I was like, this got to be a real band.
But I love the Luna Vachon hair cut of the drummer. It's amazing.
They're like this punk-looking band playing country music. It's very interesting.
But this is the only thing I have with them on it is this compilation. The Enigma Variations. This is one of my very favorite comps of all time. It's a 2 LP set.
And they just happen to be on there.
They have the first song on there.
Wow. And the first song, that's cool too.
And that's the only thing I've ever
What do they
heard
sound like? What if you were just to sum it up, like what's a comparison?
I think it's sort of like garage rock, but like a multitude of styles.
Cool. No, I mean the Screaming Sirens in general.
Yeah.
So, okay, garagey.
Yeah, garage rock, but they have sort of a variety. And this has got TSOL, the Untouchables.
I do like TSOL.
There's an SSQ song which we referenced. What's her face? Last week we referenced SSQ.
Who?
Two Hearts That Beat as One.
Oh yeah, Two Hearts That Beat as One.
Yeah, that's her.
I forgot that's the name of the
Pandoras, Rain Parade, Green on Red. I mean, this 45 Grave is on this. Anyways, so let's see if this works. If it saved my spot. Okay, so it did. And no, I think Chris is doing something else. Who is? Oh,
that's my cat.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll get into. James mentioned Sandy Martin, who plays the heel in this.
Oh man,
she's in a ton of stuff.
I was gonna bring up the Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference because that's what I know her from. So this is so crazy seeing her 30 years prior, or maybe not that long. But
did you ever want to see Mrs. Mac naked?
No, never did.
Too bad you did now.
Never did.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I love that Untouchables album. I don't know if there are multiple. I don't know where they're from. They're in the movie The Party Animal. They actually play a party, the Untouchables. Yeah, anyway, so she's assaulted with a gun at gunpoint. And she gets the gun and shoots the bad guy. But she's the one that goes to prison for 2 years. So this is quite unjust.
If I had any like minor criticism of the movie, I thought they should have done something like the kid's dad was the mayor or something like that, just to kind of explain why this happened. Because otherwise,
that would have made sense. Yeah, he had a little bit of importance.
Yeah, like the drunk or the equivalent of a redneck in Southern California.
Yeah.
True.
Like it like if it was more like, or maybe like a sleazy producer or something, and like his dad owns Hollywood.
Right.
His dad owns used car lot, or what is the thing in Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
My dad totally owns a dealership.
Yeah.
A dealership.
So the judge is played by the creepy grandpa from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh shit! Thought he remembered.
Okay. I didn't catch that.
If you remember that scene, but he's great in that little bit in Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
And I love her court outfit. It's like upscale mall, but it's like, if I'm wearing pink plaid, there's no way I can be guilty of a crime.
Yeah.
so she gets sent away. And then when I initially saw this movie, do you see like the different women? They're wearing different outfits, and
Oh yeah.
it seems like this prison is kind of lax on the dress code. Usually
Seriously.
it's orange jumpsuits and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
they do then go into like explaining what the different colors mean, but then some ladies just wear their own clothes. So
Yeah, it's like, where
her,
did you get these?
her roommates all decked out and they're like rocker chick garb.
oh
It's like
oh
what? Uh-oh.
that I hopefully that we didn't get. Sorry about the nudity. So James is saying he's watching a Korean show, 2037, and that's a similar setup.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they didn't have to kill her, attack her. Yeah, it's probably happened many a time in court.
So you have like the kind of the bad prison gang. This is them, peach picking time. And then what's her name? Kay is sort of the leader of the gang.
She sure is.
And they do the classic, did you drop the soap? and she's played by is it Sandy Martin?
Sandy Martin, yeah.
Okay. She plays the grandma in Napoleon Dynamite. She's in 48 Hours. If you look at her IMDb, she's in tons
awesome.
of things.
She's so good.
So it's like she's someone like you saw her, you recognize her because she's in tons of supporting actor parts.
Only if you know her from something. Like, I don't think she's far from a household name, like I feel like a lot of people would gloss over her, yet like you said, she has done quite a bit. And I think she's fantastic for what she does. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's just a shit heel, just throwing out
shit talker.
Racism.
Yeah, just like vile, like a vile human being. But like,
and I want to dub her the Arn Anderson of actresses because she looks almost identical here as she does in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's crazy. Like she's always looked this age.
Yeah.
And she's got like all her one-liners and stuff. She's like very like Freddy Krueger, like she's just cracking them off. Every time you see her, she's got a one-liner. It's like, how do you come up with all these?
Yeah,
she's a great heel. She's very hateable.
She's very just unlikable, but a likable unlikable. And her, I recognized her too. She's great.
Yeah. Oh, so this movie has a tie-in to both Rad and Thrashin'. Because the Screaming Sirens, the band in the bar, they also have a song in Thrashin'. And then this is Marta Kober, who's the little sister in Rad. And then she's also most notably in Friday the 13th Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And a fun anecdote from because I watched that Scream Factory Scream Factory Friday the 13th, that Blu-ray set, like watch all those extras.
I still need to get that.
So if you remember Friday the 13th Part 2, Marta gets the spear while she's having sex, and they actually filmed nudity with her, but she lied and said that she was 18 when she was actually 16 at the time.
Oh no.
So they had to like burn all the footage of her.
I bet they
nudity.
did. Oh my god.
I'd
be so pissed. Oh my god, I'd be pissed at her.
When I saw her right away, I was like, I know her from something.
Yeah, me too.
When I looked up, it was not. I've not seen Rad. Sorry, I'm
Rad's cool.
But yeah, Friday the 13th too. I was like, oh, she was the underage chick because I remember that story mostly from that.
So that's kind of a cool thing to be famous for, though. Like she can tell stories like that now.
Well,
that's pretty cool.
From what I've seen, it hasn't paid off for her.
No.
Have you seen her in more modern times?
No, I have not.
It's
Yeah.
a string of drug and alcohol problems and getting arrested for
no.
stealing cars and going to jail. And
Oh,
you wouldn't, if you saw a picture of her now, you wouldn't
that's
recognize
sad. So she's a mess. Oh man.
But I loved her, especially in this movie, her smoky voice,
She's got
Yeah.
great voice.
like
Yeah.
the Marlboro Reds, carton of Marlboro Reds stashed away in the car voice.
Yeah.
And she does a couple her character does a couple puns, so I wanted to have a pun. And so James points out that the lead singer of the Screaming Sirens, Pleasant Gaiman, however you pronounce it, was a famous mover and shaker of the LA punk scene. I don't really know anything other than I just know them from that one song that's on that comp, basically, and this movie. So like she's wearing like this T-shirt and suspenders.
Yeah, no prison uniform.
Yeah, smoking weed in the back.
She might have had like prison pants on, I think. Like a prison she might have been wearing prison pants, but like
So my question is like, because the movie it's set up, it's like you think it's an alien attack movie and they do a switcheroo. Like,
nice little clever.
are you supposed to be like, what's the deal with this prison? Because they do explain it, but it's like 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
So when I originally saw this movie, I just thought the filmmakers were like, who gives a fuck? They can wear whatever they want. No one's gonna care. But then they explain that it's a for-profit prison,
Yeah.
and they have different rules depending on the girl or the woman.
But it is confusing. I just thought I was like, oh, this is an 80s movie. They're just going to do whatever they want. I don't know if, do you think prisons like that actually existed like at all? Or what do you think?
I would guess not, but I did get caught in that trap. I was like, why is her roommate all decked out in her rocker chick gear? And then I was like, what do you stop it? Just watch the movie. It's fine. Who cares?
Yeah.
Which
If
is
you just
probably,
watch it,
I think that's probably what the filmmakers thought. Who cares?
Yeah. You got.
So the innocent Bonnie, naturally the gang of bad girls, they pick on the new inmate, and then she kind of fights back, and that spells doom for her.
Which I didn't expect. She's actually fighting back like kind of a badass. I'm like, oh, okay.
But they inject her with heroin, Sayonara Sweet Lips, and they dump her over the railing.
Really cool scene.
And kill her, but she's it's how you say, they think she unalived, like she was addicted. She was a heroin addict who unalived herself.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
But they do a cool thing where when she falls over the side, they do a jump cut.
Yeah. I like
her sister doing a stunt.
Yeah. It was cool.
Maybe I didn't understand the time span, but it seemed to me like she went into prison and 6 hours later she was dead. Was that how it came off? I felt like it was all the first day.
Yeah, it did seem that way.
It might have been. Maybe they're like, they're fucking with her instantly, and it didn't go well really quickly.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to like think of what is this movie she's shooting where this character is jumping off the building.
And with that hair especially.
Yeah. And then so the other is because she's a stunt woman and she's done stunts and gotten injured plenty of times. So it kind of makes sense that she's very suspicious of the coroner's findings. She sees bruises on her sister. She thinks, well, if I've fallen plenty of times, this, that, and the other wouldn't happen. So it actually makes sense that she has some expertise in this area of falling.
Yeah, she knows, right? She knows some foul play is going on.
So then her director boy toy is like, you need to put this behind you. It's over. And she concocts a crazy plan. She knows that something is up. So she's going to steal the judge's car and go on a rampage in order to get intentionally arrested.
She does a little Grand Theft Auto action.
Yeah.
No pun intended, I guess.
Now, Scott, did you recognize the music during this scene?
No, I did not.
It is the theme song for Wrestle War '89. NWA.
Holy shit! No way. Okay, I gotta go back.
This is Flair Steamboat 3, the third one in the trilogy.
Wow. Flair Steamboat.
The famous.
I'm embarrassed.
They wrestle each other about 1,000 times, but this is the famous trilogy.
Ricky.
Which one's your favorite, Eli?
Oh, between Ricky and Flair?
No, of the three matches.
Oh, I don't even know if I've seen all of them.
I'm just being the.
It's like my favorite is the Superdome one.
Mine is too. Yeah, the Superdome with like 3,000 people there.
Yeah,
it's very
3,000 people and dark. They did a good job of covering it up.
Yeah, they did. I'm sorry, Eli. I do that to my wife all the time when I'm talking about something. And like, I'd be talking about some stupid band she doesn't care about. Like,
no.
So, honey, what is your favorite Helicopters album?
So then, but the judge only fines her, so she has to then start choking the judge's tie.
Yes, she assaults
in order to finally get sent to prison. And I think it seems like a bit of a leap of faith that this would work out. But maybe she's so distraught, like this is the only thing she can come up with.
Yeah. That's how I took it. Like she just didn't she was acting emotionally.
Simon with the woo, of course. Yeah. But it also makes sense with the character because she's a badass of sorts, so she thinks like, how can I use my powers of stunt work and fighting in order to solve this problem, rather than the legal avenue.
I'm gonna go assault the judge.
Yeah.
Physically assault him.
Gavel pounds.
And she like grabs him too. She full on puts her hands on him. I thought she was gonna punch him.
I think it's nice they at least get to wear like cute outfits when they get checked in.
And the Hulk Hogan poster.
He wishes. He fucking wishes.
That'll get you through those lonely nights.
Oh yeah, staring at that.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I doubt they cleared this.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, I probably.
And just hope nobody would notice.
Yeah, Corman. No, I don't think so. Unless they were buddies or something.
Yeah, they have like all these random like this is all their prison cells are super set designed.
Yeah. What is going on in this picture though? This that poster.
And then there's the random Roger Corman poster for I think it's Street Girls, and they're just openly they have like these bookshelf speakers. And then they're just openly cooking heroin, I think, in the cell.
Yeah.
So it's like at this point, I'm like, this is not a normal. This is not a normal women's prison. There's no way.
And it's like the normally like it's something like this in a prison movie would be like, oh, the warden's corrupt and is getting a piece, or it doesn't seem like the warden is corrupt as much. He's just kind of not that involved. And then like the main cop lady, whatever, I don't know what her title is, but she actually seems like she cares and wants this place to be cleaned up. But yet this is going on.
Yeah, because we'll kind of get to it because I have a quote from the warden later. But we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But at this point of the movie, I'm like, well, clearly this something is weird with this prison.
Yeah, it's the weirdest prison you've ever seen in a movie.
And then the K is like, her random racism.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the first of the many racisms. This is, I think, where it starts.
So it's like, and this woman, she might be Hawaiian or Filipino, and then she does like you're gonna end up being sushi, and her nickname is China.
Yep.
Maybe Vince McMahon consulted on this because they're all the same.
But like,
Yeah,
if you were, because remember the Survivor? I don't remember what Survivor Series it was, but Kona Crush, he was on the Evil Invaders team, or the Foreign Invaders. It was like the Evil Foreigners team, and he's from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And that
Close
was
enough.
still the same. Like, if you're Asian, then you're just you're into sushi and Godzilla.
Yeah.
Well, it continues to this day. The Tongans are Samoan because they have the same skin tone.
Oh yeah. And then so she gets the Latina cellmate of
We should probably note this police officer too, though, because he's a pretty
well,
big.
I'll get into that, but I love, and I'll
Okay.
show some various styles of the cellmate.
Because he does remind me of Chuck Norris with a mullet, but that's we'll get there.
I forgot the character's name, but the Latina cellmate, she's actually in real life. The actress is Native American, and she directed a documentary. I think it was called American Holocaust. So she's like more known for being a documentary filmmaker about
Wow.
regarding Native American rights.
That's cool.
A long history of Native Americans playing Mexicans.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
And so
Yeah, sure.
clearly Kay is very powerful. She can just go on leave
Oh,
to go
yeah,
on
dude.
conjugal visits and
Oh, yeah.
beat people up and kill people and cook heroin and do whatever she wants.
And hide
And
it.
we'll kind of explain why later.
This is a good scene too.
And so this is very, like, 30 minutes in, the warden is finally explaining, that it's a for-profit prison, so everyone makes a salary, and basically all the prisoners make a salary, and then basically room and board for the prison comes out of their salary. And
Which
then
is probably like 95% of it, I would imagine.
and then if you act yeah, and then if you act up, you are penalized, and then there's 3 different, so I guess depending on how good you are, as how if you act up or not, then you get different color outfits. And I was like, who is this this one prisoner that has no lines? I was like, I want to look her up. She's in her twice. I'm gonna
Really?
do some research. But to me, she was the hottest one.
Which one?
This one on the left here.
Oh, okay.
But she didn't say anything or have, so I don't know what to call her. Yeah, so this is so you have that, like, head of security, and then she has sort of issues, or she thinks there's, corruption. Well, obviously there is. But she pushes back against some of the inner workings of the prison, the corrupt inner workings. And this plays in later. So it's like you get an orange jumpsuit if you're particularly naughty. but then there's blue, dark blue, and light blue. I don't know.
I looked her up, and I think in the 70s, she was in a lot of kind of exploitation movies, and then
I reckon. Well, she's in a few women in prison movies, so she like plays a similar role.
yeah,
I want to say in like Chained or one of the other Roger Corman ones from the 70s. She plays like a similar, like a guard role. And I love that. So Lori, the stunt woman, she was arrested for felony drunk driving. So the warden is like, "Well, we'll put you in the car shop to fix engines." So I love this idea. Like, if you steal a car, you get hired to work on cars because you must really love cars if you stole one. That's pretty genius.
oh, I like this old lady.
Yeah, and then so there's always like in any women in prison movie, there's always the lifer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like
Always.
that killed her jerk off husband.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And so basically, so there's a lot more plot to this movie than a lot of women in prison movies.
Yeah.
So basically, Lori is then asking around to try to find out who killed her sister. Who are you, a cop? And then she says, "Yeah, killed my husband and his mother."
Oh, of course.
And then there's there's a lot of corruption going around the this guard that has sex with all the ladies and nobody cares.
Yeah, and he's presented, I guess, in with a modern eyes as kind of creepy, but in the like none of the ladies in the movie seem to think he's very creepy. Like even our hero is just like, oh no, stop it. Like
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care.
I know who this guy was. I recognized him. Because my wife watches General Hospital. Kin Shriner. He's still on General Hospital to this day.
To this day,
Wow.
holy shit.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I looked him up and I was like, oh shit, I got to show my wife this, and she's like, oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him.
He's the hunky creep in this Women in Prison movie.
And James says the Latina is a female arm wrestler.
Over the top.
And she's an over the top. I have to check this out. Thank you, James. And then, I love this quote. His name is Nelson. Boy, that Nelson sure has a lot of energy for a white boy.
Nelson.
So not he's a serial sex offender, using his power as a guard, but he's got a lot of energy.
Okay.
He's got white boy energy.
Yeah, I think like the first time you see him, he's like talking to that one of the inmates, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll see you later." And she's like, "You said you were going to see me last night," and he's like, "Well, I had to be with the wife."
Yeah, he's mad at him for not showing up. So
yeah.
He must really deliver the goods.
Yeah.
Once you go brown, there's no turning around. I never heard that
Me either.
play off of the other thing. But Kay is very quotable.
She is.
And then of course he's offering his sex to the new his sexiness and you can pull on my mullet to the extent that I have a mullet. And then I love that he's trying to seduce her, and then you just hear off screen, "Bitch, give me my shirt. Fuck you, Whitey." and then so he's like, "Oh, back to work."
Oh, I better go.
And this is more unsavory racism from Kay. I shall not repeat. I love she calls them how are my little chickadees, and I hope this is a W.C. Fields reference. There's the movie with Mae West called My Little Chickadee, but maybe not. It is kind of like an old-timey thing to say. And then James points out a lot of Magnum PIs and Berettas in terms of the acting credits.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, a lot
I
of
imagine
TV.
a lot of like working
Yep.
TV actors in this.
Yeah.
And I love any women in prison movie where you have like a post-punk new wave hairdo and makeup. Always love it.
She's still on top of the scene even though she's locked away.
Yeah.
She was getting those Bauhaus demos smuggled in.
There's heroin missing. So there's more plot, and it turns out
getting high off your own supply.
What's her face is stealing heroin. And like I swear she wore the same outfit in Friday the 13th Part 2 at some point.
That flannel.
Am I crazy?
I just remember that tank top.
It was definitely sleeveless, but I can't remember exactly what it looked like.
I'll have to go look. She might have worn the same outfit.
That would be awesome. That'd be weird and awesome.
Ball thuds, woman grunt. So they catch on that Marta is stealing heroin, the gang. So they harass her. Man, a lot of great hair. And then there's a lesbian subplot. So the Latina cellmate has a secret relationship, and I love this in terms of like the shit heel promos. The gang happens upon them, and she goes just like a normal walk.
She walks in and just one-liner instantly.
There's a shocking lack of lesbianism in this movie.
There's not a ton.
And then tuck it in, Pocahontas.
Yeah.
And this is great. A card game in a prison, Marlboro Reds just hanging out, lipstick. And her hair like changes wildly.
Yeah, it does.
From like scene to scene. So if you remember like this hairstyle, and we'll look at some others later. And there's like the beefy ladies working out. So apparently like on Venice Beach, like the weightlifter girls, like they're getting arrested. A bunch of them are getting arrested for something. And then, so they're all in prison together.
They're all in prison working out.
like I would imagine like there's one that's serving time, but you have like 5.
Yeah.
Currents to you, Bambi.
We were did we already pass the scene where she gets the heroin from the guy in the conjugal visit room?
Because that where she hides it.
Yeah, with that line where she's like, "Now you see it, now you don't."
Yeah,
I almost threw up.
Yeah, I was like that fast. Totally, that was a lot of heroin too. It was like a 2.
Is that how kids got into?
Probably, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
That can't be good.
No.
So this, James says prisons are indoor summer camps for adults. That's
this one is. This one.
Yeah, if you're offloading heroin, making lots of money for the prison, then they give you summer camp privileges.
They do video games and
Oh yeah, for the freaking arcade.
Yeah, they have like a little arcade. I'm like, this prison is not tough.
It shouldn't be so bad.
Other than the occasionally getting beat up in the locker room or whatever, it's not bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just gotta, you gotta keep your head down.
Yeah, you can't expect it to be perfect.
And then so
Like,
basically it becomes like a vigilante thing where she goes in and murders everyone in the gang one by one. So they're off. There's like a
Was this the
win.
first fight? Was this the first kill? I think.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
there's like she gets on like wind energy duty. Like they this wind energy company, they hire prisoners, I guess, for cheap labor. And then she gets on that with the new wave girl and offs her.
Pretty
I
cool
gotta
scene.
say that, like the fight scenes really, I won't say impressed me, but I'm used to like in a movie like this, usually they just hire like some hot chick to be the lead, and then they try to teach her how to throw a kick, and it's just embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Where
girl actually, she knows how to kick. Like,
yeah, like the fight scenes, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like it, I'm not taken out of it by
no.
this pathetic,
Yeah, they're pretty decent.
flat
You can
play.
tell they put time and effort into it as much as they
Yeah,
could. It wasn't like an afterthought, like just swing your arm, kick or punch her, and then we'll be done. It was like some of those fight scenes were pretty long and pretty detailed, and like
yeah, I thought she did a really good job. Yeah, even the
this
acting
one,
and
yeah,
fights.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, this
kicking
was
her off
this
the
was
thing.
I wrote this down because this was my favorite quote of the movie in this scene. I'm not some cryogenic fuck that warms up every time you come jamming around.
Oh yeah, cryogenic. Like, did people say that back then? Cryogenic fuck. Like,
I'm pretty sure they do.
okay, I'm gonna say it now.
Hey, Midnight, what's up?
Midnight.
My cat's got bored and left.
Yeah, Scott's cat's like nothing to see here. Jesus.
So this this scene has another plot reveal. So it's obviously she has martial arts skills, as you figure out, and then later in the movie she's talking to
douchey boyfriend.
yeah, the director or producer or whatever he is. She tells him that she's been killing off the gang, and then she says that's honorable justice, that's bushido,
The way of the samurai.
yeah. So she which is kind of like a major thing to bring up like an hour into the movie.
Yeah, and
I feel like
she's a samurai.
yeah, and like she might as well have whispered it too. Like it wasn't like a prominent even line at all.
Yeah, I feel like maybe there were some deleted scenes because the movie is only 90 minutes. So I think
they shot a bunch of extra stuff.
But and then he says, "No, Lori, that's bullshit." Have you ever heard of bullshido? That whole thing, like the fake martial arts, like these videos where people make fun of Steven Seagal's martial art skills.
Those are pretty fun.
And
I haven't seen them now.
they call it bullshido. So this reminded me of that.
I can see that.
And this is another kill at the pool with China, whose name is China just because she's Asian.
Yeah,
possibly.
I assumed that as well. She might not be Asian in real life for the movie.
So the the head of security is starting to wonder if things are on the up and up. She's a little slow, but see, and the warden says this institution is a business, and we are paid a fixed fee for every healthy prisoner. And then the cars run this prison. So I think we're supposed to think. So basically, Kay and the gang, they're in charge of the car division, like the car repair, or whatever they're doing. And then so the warden is sort of justifying giving them more privileges because they're in charge of the money-making car division, when in fact that's a cover for the heroin business. So I think that's what we're supposed to take away from this.
Mm-hmm.
So he's corrupt, but not like, not like I would have expected that like he would be in on the heroin traffic or something. He's a greedy businessman.
Yeah, he's not quite. You expect him to be like this, this like evil guy, and it doesn't really happen.
The banality of evil.
Yeah, you expect him to be like the most evil, because he's the warden, right? That's usually how it goes. The warden's the most evil, usually.
But basically, it makes a good point that like the for-profit prison, it's like whoever's generating the most money then gets the most privileges. So it creates this, which I think was intentional, sort of that point. Like it creates this hierarchy where the person on top of the in charge of the heroin cells can basically do whatever they want. They own the prison.
Yeah,
and then
she brings in a lot of money, so Kay can do whatever she wants, pretty much.
And then the newbie coming in has no rights at all.
Yeah,
and that's how the hierarchy forms around that.
Yeah, I really didn't expect. It's not a really nuanced social commentary, but for there to be any like social commentary about a for-profit prison and how that could go wrong, that was unexpected too, and kind of nice to have in there.
And then he uses the if we pull Kay out of her position, there'll be total chaos. Like there'll be a power vacuum.
Right, yeah. Better that we know who's in charge and we can hopefully control her than
a little political, right? Yeah.
Like better the devil kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's another
another offing.
Lori kills another
this
guy.
This was interesting because she like kind of didn't want to. Like she stopped herself and then
it was kind of an accident, that one.
Yeah, she's not a killer. She has a conscience, and you're kind of seeing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's like, check out this set design. My God,
Jesus Christ, what is going on? There's so much lotion and stuff. It's like
some Chucks.
Oh yeah.
there used to be a website that only had every Chuck reference in every movie. So
oh my God.
They would say,
that's funny.
I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if it's still like, this is 15 years ago. But they did movie reviews, but it was only in when you could see Converse All-Star sneakers.
Weird.
I think it was called Chuck's Connections. I wonder if it's still a thing.
Interesting gimmick to go for,
Yeah.
Is there like a Chuck's fetish? Like, what was that for?
It wasn't a. It's. Oh, there is a. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, it's a blog from 2007.
All right.
Maybe there's a couple of them.
There might have been.
Whatever. Anyways.
Oh my God.
And Marta's addicted to heroin, so she's trying to get favors.
I already serviced 3 girls today. Jesus.
Yeah, give the guy a break, man.
Yeah, he's tired.
He's like, all right.
Here's one of those martial arts kicks.
Yeah.
She's pretty good. Lethal kicks, man. She don't miss. She's the sniper.
And good camera work too. Like like so many times in a movie like this, you see the kick miss by a mile, and
yeah, it was believable, I thought.
And now the look at her hair now. This is my favorite hairstyle of hers. And I forgot the character's name, but the Latina. I love this hairstyle. She would like be a sick front woman for a post-punk band.
Yeah, she would.
They do you know that band Tex and the Horseheads?
I do not know that.
But the
I like the
kind of
name.
has
It's a
a
sick
little
name.
bit like the lead singer of that. Anyways,
You just got to picture her wearing a black T-shirt with like that's slumping over one shoulder, and
yeah.
she would look cool. Jesus,
Ooh.
we got steroids going on in this prison too. Clear case of them.
And then so they call Kay her position or whatever she's called a trustee, and so she gets special privileges because she's a trustee. So I want to say that there were like deleted scenes explaining more of this, but people are they probably thought no one gave a shit.
Trimmed it out. Yeah, trimmed it
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
when she said that, I was like, "Oh, she's a trustee." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
She's
We
not
know
now.
that now. Yeah. Better late than never.
And then there's a
Yeah, what
fake,
the fuck was this?
This is a weird scene. Yeah.
so that they have entertainment. So you had Johnny Cash live at Folsom Prison.
Yeah,
You remember that one?
yeah.
Mhm.
And then you have Fake Prince.
Fake Prince. Yeah. Not
I
Prince.
think I'm not
Is the
sure.
lady, right? I think
Yeah, with accompanying.
with strippers.
Yeah. And what I love about this, also she has a martial arts maneuver to the corrupt guards' balls.
Yeah.
I
She
like
beats.
that guy was awesome sleazebag.
Yeah. She beats the shit out of him for like what, like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Just wailing on him.
And I love this retort. Move your sagginess out of my face.
Oh.
That
Oh
is
yeah, there's some good racism in this scene.
that is some sass. And then I love that so there's this big fight breaks out and the fake prince, he's just hanging out watching all of it.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck?
And then so in my head I was thinking about this today. I want to say like the fake prince is like, I'm gonna go play that woman's prison and I'm gonna make them go crazy. They're gonna riot and tear the prison down. Just watch.
And they do.
And they do. And he thinks it's because of him, and it's not because of the whole plot going on, the corrupt prison officials and the heroin and the deaths.
Yeah.
But in my head, I want to believe that the fake prince thinks that he's the man and he collapsed a woman's prison by himself.
That could be. That could be. It's deep.
Like a local band who somehow finagled their way onto opening for Morbid Angel. That forever on their bio is
reopened
for the stage with Morbid Angel. Now he can say that he caused the infamous whatever prison riot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I would say this be a sick album cover.
It would be.
Because it reminds me of
cool.
It reminds me of
or the back of the back of a cover, right? The band photo.
I can grab it. Give me a second.
I almost bought this movie.
Oh, did you? I'd buy it because yeah, I might actually pick it up.
It's on
I'd watch
a Screen Factory double feature.
Oh yeah, I like those double features are cool.
The other movie, I'll bring it up right when we're done. But the other movie is fucking bonkers too.
Is it? I was gonna say, those compilations you were talking about.
What's that?
I can't remember where I have them somewhere. I have some women in prison compilations. I should have grabbed them before this. I don't even remember what's on them. It's just a bunch of shit.
Like a multi-pack thing?
Yeah, like a bunch of different movies on them, like across a couple of discs.
Some of those might be on there.
Yeah, I wonder if
the ones I'm talking about were like they were VHSs like presented as a
Oh, that's
series
right.
1, 2, 3, 4. Like I swear they're up to like 15.
That's
But
right.
they were all just like whatever bullshit movie they could grab and slap a new cover on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably those kind of movies are on that multi-pack you have.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah.
Screen
But you see like the connection there that you're reminding me of something like that.
Yeah. It's a cool still shot though.
And this was a a cool build up where you have the security head of security. She starts to get disillusioned, and then there's the final confrontation between Kay and Lori. And then who saves the day? It's the head of security. Blows her ass away. It's the grandma from the Napoleon Dynamite.
Yep, getting shotgun blasted across the boiler room.
And interestingly, there's sort of, so she references the Code of Bushido, and then there's sort of like a martial arts Zen thing, where, because I've seen this in like martial arts movies where in revenge movies. So the guard is like, did it bring Bonnie back, killing the whole gang? It says you have the rest of your life to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
she does, because they let her right out.
Yeah, and she's thinking about it. So I thought it's almost like there's been martial arts movies that had a similar ending.
Did I become the monster? Am I as bad as they are now for what I just did? Type of a thing.
Because a normal way would have been like, oh, they're evil and they're dead now, so we're victorious, and let's have a drink, and like there's a montage.
Yeah,
I killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, they're dead.
I just fucking slaughtered countless people.
That director bitch boy came crawling back though. He picked her up.
He sure did.
She gave him the business, and he came back. So
yeah, I believe there's a term for that. The kids throw it around.
Sorry guys, I'll be right back.
Scott has to go. That person he has tied up in his basement's making a little bit too much noise, and he has to go thump him on the head with like a blunt object.
The cheerleader tied to his radiator.
I told you to shut up while I'm doing my live stream. You don't get to watch my WWE tapes now.
Super Tape 91.
Where we're gonna watch it together. Yeah, me and Scott were talking about, when you were gone, we were talking about scoping out you can get a Shout Factory DVD of this coupled with another movie. It's a double feature.
Yeah.
But we couldn't remember which one.
Hold on.
And
I have
he said the other one was good. That must be it. Yeah, that's the one. What's the other movie?
Naked Vengeance. I just rewatched it this afternoon.
I think Scott said he liked that one too, the Naked Vengeance.
Yeah, it's basically I Spit on Your Grave, but it's more action-y. Like it's more like a Death Wish.
Oh, okay.
So
I'd be okay with that a little bit more.
I Spit in Your Grave, but it's not
less.
It's not 40 minutes of sexual assault. It's just one scene.
I'd be okay with that.
It's still pretty uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable, but it's much more the lead. She's much more like, I've snapped and I'm gonna off these schmucks. Like I've turned into Charles Bronson, basically.
Which I like. Yeah, I'm a fan of that kind of thing. Often
it's still
people
sleazy, but it's more of a fun action. Version of I Spit in Your Grave.
I was telling Eli, I was looking up Vendetta to buy it, and I saw it was on a double feature with that, and that was available to watch, so I watched that, and
Yeah,
that
sounds
was
cool.
that was an enjoyable watch too. So I'll be picking that up eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good revenge story. I mean, I'm not saying the story here was like the best, but like I just like a movie built around revenge and then time to go take out my targets. I don't care how generic it is. Like if I like the characters enough, I'm down. So
Yeah, but like I was saying, it does bring up like some interesting,
it
is the
does.
revenge worth it?
Yeah,
Is justice was justice really served?
yeah,
And
yeah.
this is a I love how concise this movie is, but almost would have
Mhm.
liked to seen
Oh yeah,
a longer version, or
yeah.
if there were deleted scenes, because
Hmm.
it's sort of you have to kind of put some of the stuff together.
Yeah, it needed. Yeah, they probably wanted, or they probably just wanted strictly a 90-minute movie, but it probably should have been another 10 or 15 minutes to.
So
I would guess there were deleted scenes, but
Hard to say for
if
sure.
it's already been put out on Blu-ray, I'm sure that if there was anything, it was lost. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
probably
mean,
always.
yeah, it's probably lost, but like I could
yeah.
picture like there's a scene early on where she's burning incense and talking about her
Hmm.
Eastern philosophy of the Bushido,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then the
where she's
boyfriend's
like
like,
maybe polishing a sword, or
yeah,
something.
and the boyfriend's like, who cares?
yeah,
This
Yeah,
is
just to bring that up in the middle of the movie, like how many random moviegoers would know what the hell that was?
yeah,
And they don't ever explain it. So
mm-mm. No,
yeah. Other than myself,
but they did. It did work. The overall storyline, it works. You could have tightened things up here or there, but it's not.
so
It
Scott
doesn't bring the movie down, I don't think.
Scott Simon has a comment.
okay.
Yes,
He
he
says,
does.
"By the time I saw I Spit in Your Grave, I was a bit disappointed. Not enough not enough nudity for a teenager."
It wasn't erotic enough.
It wasn't extreme enough for Simon. He thought it was going to be way more
Way
XXX
hotter.
rated.
I don't know. That bathtub scene's pretty hot. To be honest.
It's like, "Mom, can you return this and get my money back from the video store? There's not enough
Yeah.
nudity."
Tell him
I
I
thought
said this is
the
some weak
lady getting
ass.
raped would be hotter.
Yeah. Mom, this is not the best rape movie I've ever seen.
I like this. Okay, so if I had any criticism of this movie, it's just based on like the genre. There is kind of a shocking lack of gratuitous nudity. Like there's a
Oh yeah,
little bit,
for sure. Yeah.
um, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't care. It was a really fun movie, and
It's more like at the beginning, they're like, "Hey, remember this? We know that you like this. We know you came for this."
I mean, they had the obligatory shower scene, but they didn't
Yeah.
really linger on it, or you know.
Yeah, because
No.
we compare this to Savage Streets with Linda Blair.
Oh yeah,
There's more gratuitous nudity in that movie, and they're high school students.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will say it's sort of like, well, you can go to any of the other or any other women in prison movie to get that. It's like we're
Yeah,
doing something different. They did have the great butt shot that I showed very briefly.
Yeah, the butt shot.
and we did get Sandy Martin semi-nude, so
Yeah, nobody
not many other
nobody
movies can say that.
yeah. Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody wanted it, nobody asked for it, but we got it.
The old battle axe. I bet that's
Yeah.
what her husband
Yeah, probably.
called her.
Yeah, that'll.
All right. Any other thoughts on the movie?
I got to run actually. I'm not literally going to run, but I got to go head out for the night.
All right, cool. I mean, we can call it. I think that
All
was
right,
fun.
cool. Yeah, that
Um,
was a very, very good recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I liked it.
Simon, for your pervert comments. That was the most perverted comment. Or maybe he's telling the truth.
It's Simon, so you never really know for sure, and that's how you like it.
Yeah.
You like to maybe he's serious, maybe he's not. I don't know.
I'll just ask Simon, what was hotter, I Spit on Your Grave or a Serbian film?
Yeah. And you know how like I know we can't hear Simon talking right now, but he is British and we are Americans, so we just like think everything British people say is charming regardless. So like, if you just read all Simon's comments in a British accent, it's quite adorable, you know.
Yes, that's true. British people do seem smarter.
Yeah. You take like an average dummy British person next to an average dummy American, and like, I like the British guy a little better. He at least has some elegance to his words, you know. They're not good words, but like the way he says them, it's a little smoother.
All right. Have an awesome weekend, Simon. Thank you.
Thanks, Simon.
Thanks, Simon.
So for next week, I'm gonna pick a movie I really love, and that's a lot more serious, but I think it's very much a hidden gem. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. Thesis,
No.
1996.
Mm-mm.
Okay, perfect.
No.
So this is basically a college student investigates whether or not snuff films exist. So it's sort of like the Nick Cage 8mm
Yeah, I'm a big
movie.
fan of 8mm.
But this is Spanish. This is Alejandro Amenabar, who directed The Others
Oh,
and Open Your Eyes, which was remade as Vanilla Sky,
Okay.
and other stuff. This is his first movie. And this is the it was released on 4K in Australia by Umbrella. So that's what I have.
ooh, Umbrella. Nice. They put out some cool stuff.
So I'll have to figure out sending a copy over tomorrow. I can probably rip. There's a Blu-ray in here, so I can probably rip that.
Oh yeah.
But this is also it's Spanish, and there's also she enlists the help of a metalhead horror fan to help her find whether or not snuff films exist.
I'll go ask my metal friend.
And it's oddly similar to Day of the Beast.
Yeah, I was gonna say same thing. Go find the metal guy. They know where the occult stuff is.
But it's a serious thriller though, so with twists and turns.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when someone comes into my town and they need to find some kind of Satan stuff or occultism stuff that has not been even known to man for thousands of years, they come to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the fuck me Satan guy. That guy, he has knowledge.
Yeah, he has legitimate Luciferian knowledge.
The amount of times someone comes to my door and says, "My daughter is possessed by the devil. Can you help?"
And you hand them a crucifix, like insert in the other end. She'll be fine. Oh boy. All right.
Thanks everybody. Thank you guys.
Thanks guys.
I'm glad you made it. And this is a nice, concise 90 minutes, which is great. I have a ton of stuff to do this weekend. Anyways, thank you. And so we'll be back next week, probably around the same time, talking about Thesis 1996, I believe. Alejandro Amenabar. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Probably. I know you're pronouncing Alejandro correctly.
Oh yeah,
I can vouch for that part. The other half.
All right. Have a great night. Rock on.
Yeah.